Welcome to week 13. We're switching gears again and moving into our humanistic theories. And what you'll notice about this transition is that it's not as big a transition as you might think. We've talked about humanistic ideas with other theorists, particularly Karen Horney, who was very much a bridge theorist and was ahead of her time in much of her thinking. I mentioned at the time I introduced Karen Horney to you that many of her ideas are repeated almost verbatim in Carl Rogers' approach to describing the difference between a real and an ideal self in his theory. Rogers then goes beyond that and builds a theoretical model that directly translated into a revolutionary approach to doing psychotherapy. For Rogers, like the feminist therapists that we talked about earlier in the semester, he was not satisfied with the psychoanalytic approach to treatment. He said it took too long. It wasn't designed to give the person full personhood in the therapeutic context, and therefore it was often ineffective in alleviating people's problems. So he designed and trained therapists in the art of human-centered approaches, or what's called person-centered therapy, which is basically the normal way that psychotherapy is done today, is in a fairly humanistic style that incorporates many of the tools that Rogers pioneered when he originally started working with students as a mentor. So his influence on psychology has been really powerful. He had notorious debates with B.F. Skinner. He felt that Skinner was too, what philosophers call deterministic, that, people have no choice, they don't have free will, they don't have the capacity to grow beyond their learning experiences. They debated back and forth in really strong terms for academics. About just how strongly they disagreed with each other's perspectives. So it is a marked transition. From here, we'll be looking at, we'll start with Carl Rogers, and we'll talk about Abraham Maslow. After that, then big transition. We'll be looking at the ways in which Western psychologists have taken non-Western religious and philosophical traditions and applied them to the question of human personality, how it develops, what it looks like, what is a well-lived life, and so on.